Jervis Motorsports, driving Long Island Performance and Speeds, number 22. Feature event winner from Southbury, Connecticut, Michael Jervis Jr.
The Bulldog will be next in car number 66 in the Cost Central Auto and North End Auto Parts sponsored machine. Here is car number 66 and Eric Burt.
Napa Pizzino Auto Parts brings us car number 3 from Meriden, Connecticut. Would you welcome Matt Galco?
Our point leader and 5-time winner will be in car number 99. Book Mechanic Hand Wipes, a sponsor for Roland Pennick.
Then it's the winner's auto, Mr. Reuter, number 88. From Berlin, Connecticut, Kid Rock, Keith Rocco.
A 3-time winner will be in car number 59. He is in the tick-free organic tick control and Advice One sponsored car. The driver from Ellington, Ronnie Williams.
Membrino Racing, car number 00. Tommy Membrino Jr. out of Prospect, Connecticut, is next.
The Matador will be in car number 23 from Manchester in the Southwood Builders car. Jeff Malave.
B1 Vodka brings us car number 12 from Agawam, Mass. John Catania.
Then it will be car number 9, the 2006 Stafford SK champion, Frank Rocco.
Then it's the Sedpo.com machine, car number 4. Out of New Jersey, it is Richie Cooper.
Priest Lightning in car number 6. In the JG Pool and Drywall car, Ryan Priest.
Off turn number 4. Tim Bennett gives them the double greens, and they are flying down into turn 1. Bottom of the racetrack. It is the number 81 machine of Todd Owen that quickly moves to the front of the class. But here comes Christopher nipping at his heels. Owen's right there. Here comes the Bulldog. He's racing in there almost 3 wide in lap 1.
Christopher went down low. That gave the opening on the outside to Eric Burt. He is trying to take advantage of it. Eric Burt gets by Christopher. And now he is on the verge of overhauling Todd Owen. Eric Burt trying to move into the lead.
Burt continues to dig on the outside. Owen digs on the bottom. Here they come back to the stripe. It's Burt to take over the lead. Watch out. Further back in the field. Coming forward. Trouble now. At a ton. Jeff Malave's machine hits at a ton in the safer barrier. Down in turn 1.
One tire just sheared off that car. And it is located by the fence. Malave's car is located on the grass.
As Jeff Malave gets out of the race car, he is obviously okay. But what a hard hit to turn number 1 in the Wendell Kilcollins prepared race car. As Malave's machine, we saw it hit at a ton. The safer barrier gave in turn 1, did exactly what it's supposed to. The right front wheel sheared off the machine, and then it looked like possibly the fuel pump might have shearing off of the car. As we saw some quick flames erupt, and the car came to a screeching halt. Tony Sutton is there with more.
I was down this end of the racetrack when that event happened, and Malave went up into the wall really hard, but just like you said, Ben, the safer barrier did exactly what it was supposed to do. It absorbed the majority of the impact up on that safer barrier, and Jeff got out, looked at the car, shook his head, and got in the ambulance. Mandatory checkout. We'll see if we can get a word with him after he comes and gets examined by the medical staff.
You'll see it unfold at Periscope right now as Jim Wade is watching the replay unfold. And it looked like, Ben, almost like a grenade went off, and that turn 1 area was covered with shrapnel.
It sure did. And, you know,
for Ryan Priest, living up to his Priest Lightning nickname tonight, only 8 points out of the lead, had won back-to-back races until a week ago. It was Ronnie Williams who was able to get the win. Now Rowan Pennick in car number 99. He will be starting on the inside of the second row alongside Ronnie Williams. And Ronnie, I think, was one of the most surprised guys when he won that race, because he said that he was just wanted to finish on the podium so he could thank his crew for the great work he did on his car after he overcame a flat tire. He never thought that that move he made to pass out Keith Rocco at the end was going to be for a win. He thought it was just going to be on the podium.
But it turned out it was a win. It was a success story. And that car continues to be one of the fastest cars in the house week after week. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation. Frank Rocco picks up at the rear of the field with that number 9 car, Eric Berndt, the Bulldog. The story of Wednesday night, he showed up in a car just for the car count, ended up running the car and winning the race. And he is a former champion at Thompson from several years back and hasn't run there in quite some time. Todd Owen on the outside of that front row, and Owen continues to be a consistent contender. Hasn't had a lot of luck in 2015 in a race car. It looks like a Spavco machine, but it is actually home built. Him and Butch Shea built that car in their garage in Somers, Connecticut. And it is a copy, a good copy, we might say, of a Spavco race car. Eddie Christopher with the help of the Bear now. Bob Phil was the crew chief for a while, and then the Bear takes over the reins in that race team. Lights are off at the point. Should be going back up through the gears. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come. Off turn number 4. All bets are off. 38 laps to go. The green is out. And Berndt, the Bulldog, takes advantage of things, but here comes Todd Owen, second wind, and goes to the outside of Berndt. 5, make it 6, make it 10 cars in a pack coming off turn 4.
Now Matty Ice is trying to get underneath Mike Christopher Jr. And Christopher is holding his own on the outside. Impressive piece of driving for Mike Jr.
Williams tucks back into the 4th spot. Here comes Rowan Pennick. Pennick up to second. As now, here comes Ronnie Williams. Owen still stuck in the upper lane. Back off turn 4. Berndt still the leader. And Rowan Pennick settles back into second. Owen refuses to give up in the outside lane. High, wide, and handsome. He comes back to the stripe in third.
2 drivers of note who are working their way up. Ted Christopher in the 13 in 5th. Ryan Preece in the 6th car is in 6th. And Pennick now with inside position against Berndt. And he is going to rumba his way underneath Berndt to move into the lead.
He does a 2-step and takes it over. Meanwhile, there comes the Bulldog Berndt to settle back in. It's short-lived because Williams is all over him as they head down the back straightaway. Owens back in the 4th spot. Christopher in 5. Here comes Kid Rock on the outside. Picks up 2, make it 3 cars. He's coming to the front.
Boy, he is a blur in the jet stream. Now he's going after Tyler Hines in car number 94, and he is dead even with him. Battle for second. Ronnie Williams trying to poke his nose underneath Eric Berndt, but it is not happening now. Preece underneath Owen.
As they come back to the stripe, Owens has got his hands full as Ryan Preece puts the east-west machine, the John Gate Pool and Drywell car, to the inside. Owens comes off the turn. They're pretty much even. Stepping out of line. Here comes Williams to challenge Berndt for second. Bottom shot. Turn 4. Williams and Berndt are side by side.
Like a tsunami, here comes Ronnie Williams, car number 59. As they rabble-rouse their way off the corner, Eric Berndt, one of the toughest to get by when he is on the outside.
He still continues to hold on for second. Williams keeps trying to dig a little more. Williams is now moved to the number 2 spot. Berndt back to 3. Preece is up to 4. Owens in 5. And then it's Christopher in 6. And side-by-side racing for 7.
And that's Keith Rocco in the middle of that as he gets by Mike Christopher Jr. Mike Jr. giving up positions very grudgingly tonight. Now it is Keith Rocco attacking his old adversary, Ted Christopher.
Certainly is, and they continue to slice and dice. Meanwhile, Preece tried to make a move underneath Berndt. It didn't work. He had to settle back into the 4th spot. He rethinks his strategy, pulls back in the line. Leader is still Pennick, gone at the front of the field.
He has a healthy lead, but everybody knows Ronnie Williams has the capability of overhauling that car. Look at Ted Christopher as he uses his leading power to try to get underneath Todd Owen. He will come again, and Ted Christopher just falls short of that number 81 car.
Well, all that's been happening. Priest works over Byrne to try to move on to the podium. He goes to the inside like he's running on rails in a kid's slot car game. It is Priest who's up to the third spot. Fourth spot is now being held down by Byrne, and fifth is the hot spot, and look who's there. Here comes Michael Christopher to the inside of Todd Owen as he will now take over position number 5.
Boy, he looks like a completely different driver than he was at the Spring Sizzler. Look at Mike Jr., the 16-year-old. Here comes Rocco. A little nudge to the back bumper. A little forearm shiver. And that is why Mike Christopher continues to hold on to the top 5.
And Owen continues to dig deep in the outside lane. Rocco is there. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, here comes Frank Rocco. As Frank Rocco is moved into the 9th position. Ronnie Williams, fastest car on the racetrack, 19.411.
So 2 cars have made adjustments, or 2 of the quicker cars. Keith Rocco and Frank Rocco's. Christopher now behind them both, Ted Christopher. And Todd Owen tried to take a shot under Mike Christopher Jr. It came up as an air ball.
Sure did. As back we go to the front of the field, and Williams is closing up that gap rather quickly on Rowan Pennick, the leader. Pennick has been the driving force up front. He knows that Priest is coming, and there is no love affair there.
But Ronnie Williams, we told you he had the potential to eat away at that Rowan Pennick lead, and that is exactly what that 59 is going. He had 6 dry weeks where he did not finish a race. But right now, he is within handshaking distance of the 99 car.
He continues to get faster through timing and scoring. Williams continues to move in, reels in on the back bumper of Pennick. Further back, Rocco is right there with Todd Owen, and Frank Rocco is there as Ted Christopher drops further back among the top 10. Back up front, the lead was once, well, half a straightaway. It's all but gone. It's less than a car length and a half as they work their way off turn 4, halfway down and halfway to go.
And Pennick leading by a twig at the halfway point. Mike Christopher Jr. finished 6th last week. He has maintained a top 5 position now for about the last 6 laps. The action is between Todd Owen and Keith Rocco, and now at the front between Pennick and Williams.
Bonsai move for Keith Rocco down underneath Owen. That is the battle in the front pack of cars for the 6th and 7th position. Back up front, Williams tries it off the turn. He can reel him in. But Rowan Pennick hits his marks. Jimmy Fuller's got that race car looking racy again. Trouble now. We've got 2 cars around, 1 and 2.
And it looks like Cooper in the 4 car.
And the 12 machine is...
Looks like they're going to put a rubber into the suspension as Ted Christopher brings the 13 to a stop and his crew goes to work. The jack is underneath, and they are installing a spring rubber on the right front tire and making a suspension adjustment on the back as well. Furious work here as Christopher sits anxiously in the car. The rear suspension adjustments made, and they're now checking the air pressure on the right rear. Let's get down to Connor and see what's going on there.
Similar adjustments to the back of Matt Galco's number 3 car, trying to make it rotate through the corners a little bit better as well. So hopefully the crew believes they'll be able to give Matt Galco the speed he has for the rest of the race.
And Matt Galco usually has a lot of speed, so we'll see if they can be a threat in the second half. We still have a long way to go, 19 laps.
We sure do,
and
Matt.
we have seen drivers come from the pit road to contention in a lot less time than that. It's going to be very interesting, because sometimes third can be more advantageous than second, and Ryan Priest has that number 3 spot right behind the back bumper of Rowan Pennick. So that'll be a very interesting confrontation.
Parade of cars coming out of pit road. Tyler Hines, Todd Owen, Membrino, Christopher, and Catania will pick up at the rear of the field. Get ready. Lights are off on the safety vehicle at the point. Here they come, rumbling back to the line. Rowan Pennick and Williams in a textbook start. And Pennick takes advantage of it. Williams hunts him down. And look at Williams. He tested the waters, Matt, and he's testing it again.
And he is going to dive right in, trying to swirl into the lead. They are dead even, heading into the first turn.
Ronnie Williams is a youngster with plenty of, well, we'll call it pizzazz as he's going for it. Meanwhile, we've got a car around in turn 2, car number 4, that goes spinning. Gets it fired up. It looks like we're staying under green, and we've got a brand new leader. It is Ronnie Williams.
As he darts his way underneath Pennick. Burt almost tried to go underneath Pennick. Here comes Ryan Priest as he's trying to fireball his way underneath Pennick. Pennick is too fast. He is attacking the back bumper of the Ronnie Williams car. Keep an eye on Pennick as they exit turn 4. Ronnie Williams is able to hold them off.
He sure is. Now it is Burt back to the outside of Ryan Priest for the 3rd spot. Michael Christopher, the run of his young career. Keith Rocco is there. Frank Rocco is there. Jervis is there. And Galco is there. It's not over with yet. 25 circuits. Williams is the big dog as they head back to 1.
As he is the brightest diamond in the jewelry case now. And Pennick pulls away from Priest and Burt to have sole control of 2nd. Maybe the best battle is for 4th and 5th. Keith Rocco, Mike Christopher Jr. They are tangled up with an intense war.
They certainly are, and they continue to run side by side as Frank Rocco now moves into that battle. Meanwhile, Rowan Pennick, Priest was almost there, and Burt continues to make magic in the upper lane. Eric Byrne continues to run the high side. Priest to the bottom. That's the side-by-side battle for 3rd. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th is still a battle that Keith Rocco, Mike Christopher, Frank Rocco, Jervis, and Galco are contending. Back up to 3rd.
Now the climber is Eric Byrne as he tries to get around that number 6 of Priest, and it's not going to work. Now Byrne settles in behind that number 6 car. And Priest is looking for some ammunition against Rowan Pennick. So we're down to about the final 11 laps, and Ronnie Williams has to hold off the first guy in points and also the 2nd driver in points.
Look at Michael Christopher and Keith Rocco. Michael Christopher continues to try to wear out Kid Rock as he continues to try to hold on in his quest for the 5th position. Dogfight battle side by side there. Back up front, leader still is Williams, and Pennick is there nipping at his heels. Priest is there, but side-by-side competition is still back there for the 5th and 6th spot between Michael Christopher and Keith Rocco.
There used to be an old Prudential commercial, get a piece of the rock. That's exactly what Mike Christopher Jr. has done, as he has almost cleared that number 88 of Keith Rocco, and now he has to worry about Frank Rocco in the 9 car. Jervis has come from the shadows. Now the top 3 cars have pulled away from the rest of the field. Williams in front. The man in the middle is Pennick. And we have Keith Rocco made contact with the wall.
But Michael Christopher continues to show he is a chip off the old block. Up to the 5th position. Frank Rocco is 6th. Keith Rocco drops back to 7th after a scuff with a wall. Ronnie Williams is like Superman at the front of the field. Pennick is there, trying to make some noise in 2nd. Priest is in there in the 3rd spot, 33 and counting. Then there's a big gap as now Michael Christopher is closing in on Eric Byrne in a battle for the 4th spot.
And that Mike Christopher car has some late life. Here comes Pennick as he tries to nudge his way underneath Ronnie Williams. Not yet. Down to the final 6 laps. Here comes Pennick in the shadows of the number 59 car. As they bazooka their way down the backstretch, Rowan Pennick is still within striking distance.
Well, all that's been happening. Michael Christopher, bonsai move to the inside of Byrne. Michael Christopher moves in and now will take over the 4th position. He does it as Byrne is still trying to dig in on the outside. Down the back straightaway, Pennick tested the waters, but it was Williams who slammed the door. Next car to go down a lap looks like John Catania, but look at the side-by-side battle with Mike Christopher and Eric Byrne.
And Burt is able to get the advantage. Remember, Ted Christopher used to drive for Eric Byrne's grandfather. and Burt with a slight lead. Look at Rowan Pennick. John Catania, the slower car, in the path of Ronnie Williams and Rowan Pennick. A couple of laps ago, Rowan Pennick got about halfway underneath Williams, and he had to give up. There he is again. Turn number 3 is when Pennick likes to make it happen.
Well, all that's been happening. Back to Michael Christopher and Burnt. 2-lap marker is out. Off turn number 4. Pennick is trying to give it his all, but Williams is still the leader. And look at that side-by-side battle with Mike Christopher and Eric Burnt. That's currently for the 4th and 5th positions here.
Rowan Pennick running out of time. He is trying to torpedo his way underneath Williams. Doesn't have the energy to do it now. Christopher holding off Burnt for 4th. And here comes Pennick, down to his final opportunity on the last lap.
They hit down the back straightaway. Williams has been the strongest force. He will be the deal breaker if he can hold on. Meanwhile, Pennick looks for some racing room to the bottom. Off turn number 4, Ronnie Williams has done it again. Pennick will finish in 2nd. Priest will finish in the 3rd spot. And what about Michael Christopher? Amazing. Ronnie Williams is on top of his game, and he is showing them that he has the talent, the ability, and the backing to be the big contender here at Stafford in 2015. And what about Jimmy Fuller's race car to finish in 2nd for Rowan Pennick, and from scratch to the podium in 3rd, Ryan Priest. But the side story of this event was Michael Christopher, 4th and coming forward.
Yeah, and he had to hold off Eric Byrne. He had a great battle with Keith Rocco. So it wasn't just an ordinary 4th place finish for Mike Christopher. It was an exciting one. And what about Ronnie Williams? A week ago, he thought he finished 3rd, was able to get the win, and he said a win is a win. But I think tonight it might be even sweeter because Rowan Pennick had a pretty big lead at about the 15-lap mark, and Ronnie Williams just hunted him down. He is able to climb out of the car. Ready to talk to our winner is Tony Sutton.
Wow, and the crew goes ballistic. Ryan Williams, what a spectacular drive, man. You're racing with some really, really top talent, and you showed them your back bumper for a bunch of laps.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to run up there. We followed Rowan through the field. We got up there pretty fast, I think with 2 laps to go, and or 2 laps in. And we just need to get down to the bottom, and we were catching them. I knew the car was fast. I knew it took a little while to get in, but once it did, it was definitely fast. I tried not to look in my mirror because I occasionally do that, and that kind of messes me up, but this is an awesome feeling, and 4th win of the season. I can't thank my guys enough for all they do.
One thing that's amazing is the way you progressed in your driving capability, your driving style. Watching people in front of you that were faster than you, now they're watching you, and I know exactly what you mean about that rearview mirror. There's some heavy guns behind you, but man, what a terrific, terrific drive.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I definitely got to thank Advice One, Napa Talent, Tick Free Organic, Tick Control, Tony from TA, Magnus, Stosh, my dad, my mom, my grandpa once again. His birthday's next week, so maybe we can make it 3 in a row. Everyone who helps out, it's truly amazing to be on this team.
And it was truly amazing to watch you drive. What a performance. Your maturity behind the wheel of the car is really, really evident tonight and has been this year. But I think some of the best that drive here were behind you, and that's something to be extremely proud of.
Yeah, it definitely is for sure. We know we have a fast car every week, and just need a little luck on our side, and we definitely have gotten it the last 2 weeks.
Ronnie Williams, the victor after 40 laps. Now we'll send it over to Connor.
Well, here was second place. Rowan Pennick, and tell you what, Rowan, it looked like one spectacular show out there. It looked like you gave Ronnie Williams about all he could handle.
Yeah, we had a great, pretty good car today. I got to thank all my guys on the team. They did an awesome job. Congratulations, Ronnie. He had a really good car. It was a good race between me and him. I want to thank all the fans for coming out, and Stafford Motor Speedway, Hoosier Tire, Pettit Racing Engines, Waddell Communications, CD Race Chassis. Thanks to everyone who helps us out.
He's still the points leader. Rowan Pennick coming home second position tonight says we'll bring in probably one of our biggest movers on the night, Ryan Priest. 3rd place finish, and looks like a pretty hard-earned 3rd place out there.
When you get a good car like I do from Mike Paquette, it makes it easy. we have a lot of great sponsors behind us that make it possible with the Poolins and that Pettit Racing Power. Real good motor. We're going to be putting the fresh piece in next week. East West Marine, Sullivan and Son Boys, Mizzy Construction, Logan Steel, Glastonbury Auto Body, Racing Electronics with Auto Communications, Sunoco Race Fuels. Everybody involved, Napa of Canton, huge supporters of mine, and obviously Napa for putting on the show here. And we'll be back next week and we'll be ready to go.
Ryan Priest coming home in third position tonight, and that'll do it for a very spectacular SK Modified show. Let's go back to the tower.